Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Crypto coach says, go touch grass, come back in 5 years, XRP will do the rest. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so I felt like this was kind of a relevant thing to discuss right now, especially after this huge liquidation event that we've had. My videos I do in advance, so I don't know where the market will be by the time this drops. It could be that we've recovered back into a really good position. Who knows? It could be that it's gone down even lower. But this is something I think is quite relevant in this regard, in regards to what's happening right now. And so I just want to quickly discuss this with you. So the coach in question is Coach JV. He's the one who does YouTube content about XRP, not someone who I personally follow. Again, I just find some of his content to be stuff that I disagree with, a bit hypeish, so he's not someone who I personally follow. But with this sentiment here, I generally do kind of understand what he's saying. So let's get into it then, and go through the general thesis of what we're talking about here. Okay, so we've had this huge liquidation event, right? We know that's happened now. There's no denying that. I don't know where the market's going to go. As I say, this could be the thing that's the last final bottom before we blast off into alt season. Or on the other hand, it could be that this is the beginning of the bear market. I don't know, right? But let's just go down the latter of what I just said. Let's just say we're going into the bear market. The thing that I just want to explain to you guys here is that, you know, the first thing that you need to ask yourself about this with whatever crypto you invested in, obviously with us, we're XRP holders, is has anything changed in terms of XRP's fundamentals, right? Now, yes, we are clearly victim to insider trading here. So that is, you know, that's a difficult thing to deal with because it's manipulation at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, crypto is here to stay. We know that, right? At this point, there's no disputing that. And we know the benefits that crypto technology is going to bring to the world. So if you can look at XRP and say, well, nothing happened here in terms of this drop that was in regards to XRP's, you know, utility. There's not been any concerns with the network. There's not been like a hack or an exploit, a bug in the code, nothing like that. Nothing in that regard to affect this huge liquidation event, right? And so when you think about it from that perspective, nothing has really changed in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, right? And so this is why when I did a video discussing this huge liquidation event, I said, you know, I've not sold any XRP at the moment during this bull run that we've had up to like $3. And I don't intend to sell now. So let's just say we do go into a bear market and $3 was the highest. And let's say, you know, let's say now it's around, I want to say it's like $2.66 or something like that, roughly. I'm not selling at $2.66. I'm not going to say, hey, I'll just take that profit and that's fine. I'll let the rest go and whatever. No, I'm just going to hold, because the thing for me is that I was still conservative with my beliefs of what XRP was going to get to this cycle. And so if it doesn't even get to that, I'm just not going to sell at this point, because I believe it can go higher. Now, the thing for me is that while it is going to be frustrating, I know I have the patience to wait longer if I have to. Now, am I going to be happy about that? No, of course not. But if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. I'm willing to do it if that's what it takes. And so this is the thing here. The first thing I'll say is what you've got to understand is that this crash was completely manipulated. So that's a huge factor in this. So this is why it's like I can't really be angry with the crypto market, because this wasn't a natural course in the crypto market. Like, someone has come and manipulated it for this to happen. So if this hadn't have happened, for all we know, it could have been next week where the bull run really took off, right? We don't know. Now, I'm not saying that that's what would have happened. I'm saying we don't know. So my point from here is, if we don't have a bull run, we'll now never know if that was a natural thing, that the bull run was never going to occur. Like, we've had the top and that's it. Or if this would have happened regardless, right? Because don't get me wrong, if we still have the bull run, no one's going to care about this. Yeah, like, well, I say no one. People who've obviously been affected, who've been flushed out by leverage and stuff like that, obviously they're going to care. But like, what I mean is, the people who are just holding right now, like for example, for me, if XRP does have a bull run at the end of this and it still goes to, let's just say, just hypothetically, let's just say it still goes to like $10, this isn't going to bother me because I haven't sold. So it's not really impacted me. Like, yeah, it's been a bit like nerve wracking to say like, okay, are we still in a bull run or not? But in the grand scheme of things, I still got the bull run and still got $10 XRP and sold when I was happy. But the question now is like, if we don't have a bull run, we'll always wonder now, was this ever going to happen? And it was due to the manipulation, or maybe this was just the top anyway. We'll just never know that answer. And that's going to be a difficult thing to, to deal with if like that does turn out to be the case and we do have a bear market from here. Now, I will say this in regards to this whole thing about, come back in 5 years. I kind of do agree with the sentiment of this. And the reason why I say that is like, what I mean by it is I'm not saying, hey, just go away and just, ignore crypto because, let's just say you was to go away now and just ignore crypto. What if the bull run was to happen within the next 2-3 months, right? And then you've just completely missed it. So I'm not saying that you should just ignore crypto altogether or XRP altogether. But what I am saying is that I think when you're just so hyper focused on, crypto or XRP, this is when it affects you to so much of a degree, right? Like you might notice sometimes when I'm doing videos, when I talk about prices, I give you a real rough estimate of the price, right? And the reason why I do that is because I'll be honest with you, I'm not checking my phone every day. I'm not checking my portfolio every day. I'm not checking my portfolio every hour. I don't do that because for me, it's like, look, when things are moving, I'll start to pay more attention. But while things are just, going stagnant and it's up and it's down, it's like, we're not in a place yet where I really want to give it my full attention. I'll give it my full attention when I know the bull run is fully in swing and we've got the alt season rally going on, because that's when it's like, okay, I need to keep an eye on this now because I'm going to be looking to sell, etc. So I have to have things in place. But while things are just going through these, like the waddling, after we had the whole thing in November when it, first went to $3 and then it kind of has been, up and down. For those months, I wasn't even checking my portfolio because I was just like, what's the point? Like, until I've got real positive price action and we know things are just completely going in the right direction, I'm not going to keep checking my portfolio. And I do that because I don't want to be sucked into that degree. Now, don't get me wrong, I research crypto all the time. So I'm always keeping an eye out in terms of like doing content and just finding out about, the cryptos that I'm invested in and stuff like that. But I just try not to get too focused on just what's happening with the price all the time because it can drive you insane. Right? Because you have these pumps and you get all happy, then you have a correction, it goes down. You have these pumps again, it's looking good, then it goes down. And then it goes down again, you get scared and you think, oh, is this the end of the bull market altogether? So it's all those things where it's like, I don't want to have that roller coaster of emotions every day. Do you know what I mean? So I do my content and stuff, but I try not to keep looking at the price. I'll wait to see like, okay, is this the bull run? Is this the alt season rally that we've been waiting for? If yes, okay, let's start, getting really locked in with it. If not, okay, cool. I'll check my portfolio later on when it's time where I really feel I need to. Because to me, like the in-between is just noise to me, right? It's like, I'm not going to buy and I'm not going to sell. So at the end of the day, what does it mean to me to see these prices? So me just looking at the price at one point and then looking at the price at another point, it's just going to frustrate me, right? So this is why I say, in terms of like go away for 5 years, yeah, I don't mean literally don't ever look at crypto for 5 years. No, but the point is like, you don't need to kind of be so concentrated on crypto or XRP to be watching it all the time so closely, because it's just going to emotionally impact you, right? So this is what I do. And this is not me telling you guys to follow my lead. I'm just telling you what I do. And this is what works for me. I just basically, don't get me wrong, I will check the market every now and again. So it might be like, for example, 4 days might go by and I just say like, okay, where are we at this current moment in time? And I'll check and I'll say, okay, cool, that's it. And then again, I won't look then maybe for like a week or another 4 or 5 days or 3 days, whatever. But I'm not checking every day. I'm not checking on the hour. No chance. I'm not doing all that because I just know that's just going to bother me. And then when I see it getting up, I'm going to get excited. Then I'm going to start to, get hyper focused. And, if it drops down, it's just going to disappoint me. So for me, that's what I think is the best thing to do. And I think like the problem is with crypto is that people have this belief that crypto is just an overnight thing. Like you just invest in crypto and you suddenly will just become a millionaire overnight. And the reason why that's happened is because people don't really understand the inception of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin came out in 2009. Now, it's taken many, many years for Bitcoin to get to a point where it's up into, the thousands of dollars. It didn't just happen within a year of Bitcoin being released. No, there was many years that Bitcoin was out and it was trading, well below $1, etc. And so I think this is where people think, because the way they saw Bitcoin is because they saw it in the news when it was really starting to take off. And so everybody just thinks that crypto is the quick way to get rich. Now, don't get me wrong. If you compare crypto to the stock market, I think you've got a much better chance of getting rich from crypto than the stock market. And I think you've got a much better chance of getting rich quicker in the crypto market because there's way more volatility. So you have a lot more chance to make bigger amounts of money. On the flip side, you can obviously lose more amounts of money too, but still, but yeah, like it's still not an overnight thing. Like these bull runs come like every 4 years. So you have got to understand that like this isn't stuff that just happens overnight. It seems that way because, you hear about people, news when you only hear about it in the mainstream media when the prices are going crazy. So then people just think, oh, so someone's just got into crypto and they've just made it rich. No, like, for many of us, we were invested in crypto for years before we got to a point where we were like, well off. Same for the Bitcoin holders. Like, yes, they have made it into becoming like crypto millionaires and made it, ridiculously wealthy, but they were invested in the very early stages when nobody even knew what it was. And there was that risk there because nobody did know if Bitcoin was going to be as big as it is now. And so this is where a lot of people don't have the patience. And I do think with crypto's like the younger version of the stock market. So it's like you'll get younger people coming into crypto, and obviously they're a lot more impatient. And this is why you have so much like meme coins and stuff going on, right? Because, the younger audience are a lot more like willing to gamble and stuff like that, and like meme coins is a bit more of a younger thing. And so this is where you've got to understand that like while we are in an asset that can hugely make us wealthy, yes, you've got to understand that like this isn't an overnight success thing. It's not. It is going to take time. Now, I'm not saying this to rule out this current bull run because I don't know if that's still going to happen. But what I'm saying is, let's just say we are going into a bear market now and that was the end of this bull run that we've had. What I'm saying is, yeah, like I wouldn't be sitting here concentrating on the charts all the time. Like I think it's at that point where you got to think, okay, maybe we just got to see how things go and how things develop over the next few years to worry about when we got to think about the price action going back up. Now, who knows, because of like utility and stuff that's happening now, like legislation and stuff like that that's coming out, it could be that things change, right? Because it could be that we're getting to a point where soon this stuff will be based more on utility rather than, these 4-year market cycles. It could be that it's not just speculation anymore. It's that these tokens, these cryptos are getting more value based on, the ones that are actually out here having a purpose that can actually help change industries in the world, etc., etc. But we don't know that yet, right? We don't know how long that's going to take. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on now, and even at this point, there's still a lot of networks where you would think their tokens are way more valuable than what they currently are. So we'll have to wait to see until that is actually properly reflected in the price. But yeah, like this is the position that we're in. And so what I'm saying here is, I'm not saying just go away, don't ever think about crypto ever again and just see what happens in 5 years. But I do think if you're willing to have that long-term mindset, this will be a lot easier to deal with, like these liquidations. Like for me, even though I don't like this, and please believe me, like if this is the end of this bull run, I'm not going to be happy with that. If I have to wait another 5 years, I will do that if I have to. Not saying I'll be happy about it at all, but I will do it if I have to. And I think that's the mindset you guys have got to have if that's the way you think about this. Like obviously some of you guys might be here just for short-term games, so this might be, very frustrating. But I think if you do look at XRP the way you look at it, as like a long-term, utility asset that's going to be used in the future by institutions, etc., then nothing has changed from this liquidation event. XRP is still fundamentally solid. So at the end of the day, everything should still be fine from that type of standpoint. So yeah, for me, if it takes another 5 years, then I'll do that. I won't like keep looking at my portfolio every day. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and when the time comes, it comes. I'm hoping that this isn't, the end of the bull run. I'm hoping that we still get our bull run, and so we still get our chance at life-changing wealth. But we'll just have to see. I don't get to make that call. We don't know yet. Like, the markets have been hit very badly. It's the worst liquidation event in history, so who knows the impact. But the one thing I will say is, even with all these liquidation events that have happened in the history, like COVID and stuff like that, they've always recovered in the end and had a bull run. I mean, it has still gone on in the end to recover and then still, perform price wise. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that this is the end right now, but I can't tell you the future, guys. You know, I'm here with you, like, so we'll see how things go, but I just thought this might be a relevant thing to hear right now with what we're going through. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.